you.
up to the town hall doing stuff, and
It's all right.
the time got away.
Yeah.
It happens.
So what's today, the 19th?
Yeah, so I'll
Today's
call,
the
this
21st.
is the
21st, I knew that.
March monthly meeting of the Berlin Cemetery Commission. You're subject to being recorded if you're here and you speak. I don't think I have to say beyond that. You want to give us a synopsis of the last meeting?
I do. Let me just write down the time.
Yeah.
3:30.
It is 3:30.
3:30, yes. Oh my
Barry.
God.
What, honey? It's okay. I don't feel well.
Yeah,
I've been having a stomach bug, so the shorter the meeting, the better for me today. I'm okay right now. If I
Okay.
turn green, I'm running out of the room.
Okay.
All right. If you jump up and run out, we'll know why.
Let me go back here. It's back here somewhere. February 21st. Meeting opens at 3:20. All present. I noted that bills needed to be signed by Brenna and Barry. I think we did that. The minutes to January 18th, 2023 were read and accepted unanimously. We reviewed an inquiry from Leo Monument. Robert is handling that.
Yeah.
I stated that I was investigating the family oral history in the Esterbrook Low Wheeler family of a Native American cemetery on Sawyer Hill Road.
I'd say off, so yeah.
Off of Sawyer Hill Road. I didn't write that in. To the east. Between the former Esterbrook property and the lot recently purchased by LEB.
Yeah.
It was a short meeting. We motioned to adjourn at 3:47, and it was seconded and passed unanimously.
Any comments on the minutes? Motion to approve,
Motion.
second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Audit bills and accounts,
Just one.
just the usual one.
Yep.
No burials.
No. They wait till it gets rainy or snowy.
Yeah.
Yeah. February 23rd to Feb 21, 23. Red.
Okay. I think we can approve this. I don't see any reason not to. It's just the regular superintendent's pay. And I don't have any others at this point.
Borrow your pen. Oh, yeah.
Any other issues that have come up with this?
Nothing too crazy.
Nothing unusual.
No. Had a burial and beginning of the month sold us some graves. Had another person just asking about graves. Purchasing them. Everything seems to be quiet. Not much damage. The burials I've had, there's very little damage, if any at all. And so,
From the winter?
from the winter of me driving when it got muddy, just
Wow.
very little
Oh,
at
good.
all.
Excellent. We like
So,
That
that.
is super.
surprised me.
But
There's 2 more months of
it is April,
I
yeah.
know.
mud season,
know.
so,
We still got to file for mud season, so.
yeah.
But now it's warm enough. If you get a day or two, the top dries out pretty good,
Oh, yeah.
so you don't have the damage as long as
No.
it's not raining.
No.
when you're
Right,
doing it in the
right,
snow.
right,
The water
right.
will, the water will
You don't have
soak
You
away.
don't have the damage.
No,
Right,
it
right.
isn't on top of the frost. We really never got much frost in the
It was
ground.
nothing. I think Paul had a little bit maybe in December, or at some point then he had a couple places had it, but really there's
Yeah.
been nothing for.
We had those cold days in, I think it was February, and it could have got frosty a little then, but then it was warm
Gone.
again, so it went away. before-
Right,
if anything
really
was there.
fast.
Never got any deep frost this year.
Nope,
No,
Well, I basically never got ice in the ponds.
no.
right,
It was never
No.
really enough to go on.
right, right.
The and the ground's soaked down
Yeah.
5 feet. It's,
Yeah.
you did-
Super.
it's soaking wet.
Oh, yeah, yeah, very
The
well.
last one I did, Paul says, is ground wet. I said, I brought him up a handful of dirt. I says,
Yeah.
he says, wow, it's just like you've been running the hose in there.
Yeah, yeah.
My,
Which is good.
my French drain is functioning superbly, and the sump pump runs all the time.
All the time, yeah,
All the time. I have a dry basement.
yeah. Wow.
Works great.
Good.
Yeah.
We, I had a meeting yesterday with the Hearst House Committee,
Good.
and we basically ultimately concluded that what we discussed when we were there for our site visit, that we'll get the Hearst House put in, and then we'll do a 1 to 15 earthen ramp down out of it. I suggested to them, don't really worry too much about it now, because get the thing in there and placed, and we'll do all the measurements and do it once we have the floor in place.
Well,
so
you
we
have to
know
you have to get the
get the right level.
right level before
Yeah.
you start
Yeah, yeah,
grading,
and
because it has to be a certain pitch anyways, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
yeah, 1 to 15. 1 to 15, so you won't have to have rails on it.
Okay.
If you do 1 to 12, then you need rails.
And that just-
We don't want rails.
No, because that becomes a
They had been looking at trying to pitch it all the way from the sidewalk down to the Hearst House, which was gonna be too steep for 1 to 12 even. And I
Yeah.
said that upsets the surroundings too much. And it upsets the way that we've used it when we wanted to put a truck in or something. So I suggested that people can walk down through the cemetery, and there's some unusual things about handicapped access regs. You do your regs, if we had a parking space, then we'd have to work out something between the parking spaces. There's no parking spaces.
Right.
no.
And,
So they're coming from the handicap sidewalk
yeah, if you have
in the entrance.
if you have a hill that's too steep and the sidewalks on it, handicap regulations have nothing to say about it, because
Well,
it's,
That's
that's the
It's-
way the ground
it's
is.
the
that's like the
topography.
one down by the tennis court then that goes down from the center of the sidewalk that goes down to the school.
Yeah,
Because that follows that contour right down,
Yeah.
and that would be too steep, wouldn't it?
I
Pretty
don't
close
know.
to it.
It might be, I don't know. I don't know. I
mean-
never measured it.
Somebody
probably
with
is.
a motorized wheelchair could probably make it, but
Oh, yeah.
somebody doing it by hand
Yeah.
would probably look at that and go, "No, I'm not going down
Yeah,
there."
yeah. But that's
Or
the
up.
lay of the land.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's not regulated.
Basically, the big thing is if we want it to go into the building, and you're gonna need a ramp anyway if you ever wanted to put a wagon in there or something. So,
Yeah.
I said if we make it 1 to 15, then that's regulation, according to regulations, and how they get there is how they get there. They could come in and go down through the cemetery there, but I said, that's the lay of the land.
And actually, if you put a parking spot in it, you'd have to cut the curb at the street.
Then you'd have to have a way all the way from the
Yeah,
parking
and
spot.
you'd also have to
That's all right.
cut the sidewalk
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What a terrible place to have somebody park it.
Yeah. So
Horrible.
anyway, we had a good meeting, and they were calmed down about that, so
So one
1 to 15.
1 to 15 is what? One?
It's 15 feet to the foot. You got a 15-foot of ramp to go up 1 foot.
And that's what we figured, we were down there looking at the top of the stakes. And we
Yeah.
come out about
1
that
to
15 feet,
15
and it
slope.
was met right there, which was,
Yeah, and where,
Right.
where it's coming up as you come out, chances are we aren't going to be an awful lot longer than 15 feet with the thing. And we also talked about doing the earthen thing and then having a bridge either with granite or wood that, so that the earthen part would not go up against like the sill of the building
well,
and moisten it.
most of the old barns had that
Yeah.
section of wood, that ramp,
Yeah.
so that it wasn't up against the wood.
So it wasn't up against the wood. So it won't be, it may be only this wide, but it's
Right.
enough so it's
The
not
curved
against the wood.
piece.
And also, if it's not too long, it's not gonna impede the water getting drainage out of the place and so forth, so. No, we had a good meeting and they
And-
seemed comfortable with, and that's what we talked
And
about when we
Tommy,
were there, so.
Tommy Mills might have the granite that we need for that.
Yeah, they're talking to Tom.
Yeah.
They're talking to
Okay,
Tom for
cool.
granite,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
So-
they're talking to Tom Mills for granite.
with
Um,
Tom Mills.
But that's not our concern, it's
No,
the
but
commission, but that's what they're doing. Um,
To
looking at his collections for things that they can use. But that's the status of that one.
from Earthen ramp.
I still haven't talked to Lang or the other people next door about the trees.
Well, you gotta talk to three
To, yes,
Yeah.
people, because the
Building
driveway,
itself.
if you go down that driveway, it's a shared driveway.
Yeah,
So you got three people you gotta talk to.
but the tree isn't on their land, the tree's on the land of
But
the other people.
You should talk to them if you're gonna drive down their driveway with any
yes.
kind of equipment.
Oh, all of that
So there's
stuff,
three people that have gotta be
yeah.
talked to.
Another thing that's of interest to us is that the Krzeski property has been sold
Okay,
where's
in
that?
back of South Cemetery,
just the land or the whole piece,
the whole place.
the whole place, okay.
Interesting.
And the people have moved in. And the buyers are Scott Hawkins and Ross Hopperstead.
Right.
Oh, they,
And they're selling their unit up in
up at the village.
Mosaic
Okay,
and moving over there. They probably will keep in touch with the
Scott.
Mosaic people,
oh, I would be
Hawkins
shocked if they didn't, I'd be really surprised
and-
if they
but
did.
Ross. HARP. ESTAD. There could be another letter in there, but that's about it.
Could be a T at the end.
Outside.
Could be a T
And-
at the end.
Yeah,
Should be a T at the end, whether it's there or not.
yeah, there
Yeah.
should be a T at the end.
Right.
Anyway,
New.
but they bought the stuff and they've just moved the,
No,
into the
so there's a
house.
little, there's that property, and then there's a little house
yeah.
right next to the, what is that?
That's a separate
Well,
piece
that
of
was
property.
originally for Helen Pierce's mother, Mrs. Brown. She lived there, and then Carolyn and her first husband lived there and brought up
Okay.
their boys there.
Okay,
Um,
did that go with it?
From no, that's separate. They sold that to their son Bo, and then Bo moved out to Colorado, and he finally sold it, so it's somebody else's there now.
So,
The thing about it is that the Hawkins property is where we have our water supply, which
It-
they know about.
right,
Yeah, because is that,
I chatted with them about that recently, and I said, then there's the matter of the trees. We didn't get into the tree stuff, but we need to talk about that too. We did talk about, there's no problem with stuff going over the wall as long as it's all,
it's not true, just like
Goes
Kevin
away.
said, as long as it's biodegradable, I
Yeah.
don't have a problem.
yeah,
Yeah,
they,
in
they,
between.
they said that too, so.
When it's trash, it's a different
Uh,
story.
I talked a little about what arrangements we'd had with Kevin. And they were comfortable with that. I just had a chance to chat with them, so I talked about some of that. But at any rate, we have a new neighbor, and they know about our relationship somewhat. And
Oh, that's good.
but we will have to talk about the trees and what we do with that problem.
Excuse me.
So that's that. I had a meeting yesterday with the town administrator in regard to the warrant for the annual town meeting. And one of the things I did was they were changing and doing away with sunset clauses on several articles. So I added our article that had a sunset clause to it.
For the paving.
Yeah, one of our paving articles. But they have put out to bid and have got the bids in, and I don't know, I think they've got a contract now for a whole mess of paving, which includes those.
Okay.
Includes Highland and Highland Street to Randall and Randall to Carr.
Oh, yeah, because I think they're going down past Larry Foster's old house.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, wherever, but it's going to include the corner of Carr, at least. And they have, and there's some other places.
They would.
But among the other places is the cemetery drives. And,
So they have contract signed?
Oh,
The
they-
paving contract
I
is?
think so. And she said that that doesn't mean we know when it's all going to get done.
Right,
But, and she said it's a good idea to take that sunset clause off because it might not be by June 30th.
Yeah, because the faster you get on the list, the
Yeah. And they will do, they'll be working on these projects in the course of the season. So it isn't necessarily that they're going to do them all the same week,
right.
but they're going to do some of them and then they'll do some others. So, but the cemetery drives are on that. So, we finally have some action on that and, that should get done this year. You got that.
Hallelujah,
that.
we can
Finally,
stop
finally,
talking about
finally.
this.
Um,
Good job, Barry.
You might want to chat with Fred when you get a
Going
chance
to.
about it, just so you know more about the specifics. But they were very happy with the prices.
good.
Then they had several bidders, and all of the bidders were present for the bid opening.
Oh, good.
So they were all interested.
They're really interested in the jobs then.
Yes.
Is Judy Christensen running for trustee of trust funds, do you know?
That was a question I was going to ask you, so I've got to check into it.
Regarding
And we'll-
Thank you.
composting and trees. Composting off. Thank you. Okay, so,
So something's really happening with that.
Good.
That's going to get done this year. And that's going to be a lot of relief for all parties involved because all of this stuff has been delayed and delayed and delayed. But they had several bids and they got good bids and the people were looking for business, so they got
good prices.
Good
People are
stuff.
hot
Well,
to trot.
People are interested in working.
yeah.
I think
That's
with
good.
COVID over, stuff's gonna really start.
Yeah.
Actually, I talked to somebody the other day and they are involved in hot top and they're starting next week,
Yeah.
grinding, stuff like that. They're starting
Good,
back, so.
good. So, the books. Are we ready for books?
Yeah, we can talk about the book.
The book report. This is my
Yes,
book
we were
report.
working, after our meeting last month, we sat down and we were just updating records, and we were noting the condition of some of our record books. and
Existing record books that are looking a little dog-eared and
Looking for new,
overstuffed.
New covers for our record books and stuff.
So, Brenna went in pursuit of sources for something that would serve our needs. I drove all around. I found at the Art and Framing Emporium, which is in the same plaza with the Tatnick Book and Marshall's
In Westboro.
in Westboro.
Lyman Street in Westboro.
Yeah,
Two-
and
two
at
of
the
those
at
Lucas.
the at the corner of where the two strip malls meet, he's in the corner. He has 2 zippered portfolios. The interiors are 11 by 14 portrait, 12 binder clips, 12 clips. He wants $50 each. Turns out that he graduated from Rhode Island School of Design 1 year after my partner of almost 15 years. He is a photo archivist. He does restorations. He has a commission from the town of Hudson to digitize and rescue a photo journal from the fire department circa 1850s. Very cool. So he was all excited when he heard that we had old photographs, and I've got his contact. His last name is Turner. So from there, I proceeded to Michael's, which has and those were $50 a piece. So I went to Michael's. They have the same style, 11 by 14 zippered portfolios. They actually have acetate sleeves, which I believe, I don't know if they're closed on the bottom or just or open, but they've black paper. Also $49.99 a piece. Again, the 12 clips. And they those are $49.99 a piece. They have an open folio, same style, same interior, but without the zipper, for $34.99 each. Walk in with a check, buy the things, come out. It looks like the acetate, we could figure out a way to fasten tabs to them so they could be tabbed.
Oh, so they could become
Yeah.
the dividers.
I mean, we might be a challenge to figure out what material to fasten the tabs with, but that's big deal.
No big
Yeah.
deal.
And then available online is the same style for $30.99 plus shipping.
Oh.
So,
Okay. The big thing that we have to do now is take one of our
sheets,
sheets
take it to it and see if the
and make sure they'll
holes
fit
line
with,
up.
They'll fit up with the holes.
I almost took one with me,
Yeah. we
and
did.
I'm standing
So,
there going, "Damn, I wish I brought one
yeah,
of those with
yeah.
me because
So
I
we'll
could
get
verify."
one out. We'll get one out. And that's one of the things we'll do is check that out.
Yeah.
And there's
So
another Michael's, of course, in
Right up here at
in
Highland Commons.
Highland Commons,
right
yeah.
here in Berlin.
yeah. So I went to the one in Shrewsbury
Yeah.
because I was
That's where you were.
I was going over to check out what was over there. I wanted to try Staples.
Yeah,
Staples didn't have anything.
yeah.
Staples had nothing.
Well, that's interesting.
that's
and
how
it's
I-
encouraging that there's some possibilities there. Let's.
So
I mean, the North Cemetery folder is fine, except that it's getting a little full.
It's
right,
gonna-
but
it's gonna
they're
get full
the rings
down
are
the
the
line.
rings are like this big, so
Yeah.
you can stuff them full. I mean, you can really.
Oh yeah,
And there's
these are bigger. Yeah.
yeah, and because of the configuration of the sleeves, the acetate sleeves with the black paper, you could take those out and replace them with some cardstock, and add them to a folio that you have for something
Yeah.
else. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of looks like it's a universal
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you have something in the collection where you could use those,
Oh,
maybe with,
With other things for that.
right.
It could be a useful way to store some stuff.
right,
Right. Well, we will. We'll get one of those to check out, and we'll continue the work on this, and perhaps we'll buy some stuff shortly. That's good, and
Yeah.
we'll work on that some more this month. Do we have any other issues we need to take up in our regular session today? I don't know of any offhand.
Are we gonna, it's not far away, is Memorial Day of Flowers.
Ah, yes.
Memorial
not-
is really not that far away.
Have not dealt with it, so I will get the numbers and contact
Michael,
Michael and order them.
okay, because maybe it's not Memorial.
No,
not
it's
that far
awful.
away.
We should have done it last month. Yeah, I'll call Michael and leave him the order. I'll look up the numbers from last year. I actually can get a few less than last year. But last year we cut it some, and we'll cut it a little bit more.
The flowers they put out in front of the cemeteries, I don't know where they're getting theirs from, because they were getting them from Kevin. that go out in front of the cemeteries.
Well, the Legion does that, don't they?
Okay.
So that's their business, not mine.
Well, I'm just,
Yep.
because I don't know,
And last year I got the fire department out of
yeah,
our hands. I need to,
I wanted to suggest if anyone, spoke to you about flowers and wanted to contribute something, that it would be very nice at the North Cemetery right now to put in a bunch of pansies. So if somebody approaches you with, a general public
Oh, yeah.
person wants to make a donation of something, like say, go buy a couple of pots of pansies and put them in.
Put 'em in
Somebody
there.
put-
Yeah, yeah, that'd be very
somebody put
nice.
something up there.
We know who somebody would do that.
Wasn't me.
Wasn't
No.
me, not this year. I did it another year, but I mean,
No,
I
looks
Yeah.
like somebody put some hosta or something in the front up there, yeah.
did that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did some hosta. What else did I do? I think I did hosta in front, and I can't remember. Was it daylilies or something? I don't know. Anyway,
I had somebody call me up about cemetery stuff and, just the usual kind of information. I didn't have to do anything.
all right, I'm ready to go lie down. So
But if that's the case, is there a motion to adjourn?
yes, please.
A motion to adjourn?
Second?
All those in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye. Universal. We've done
I